Hello friends, this is Parth Patel and you are watching Tech Only channel, and here we are going to discuss today about the difference between switch and router. So let's start. And if you want to watch this video in another two languages, that is Hindi or Gujarati, then you can click on the links. And now let's start the video. That first difference of switch and router is that switch is used in local area network, that is for the small networks such as offices and small startups, so you can use that switch. And there we come for the router, and it is used in a WAN network, which is wide area network. It is combination of many other LAN networks, so it becomes a WAN. So you can see the difference that here switch is used in a small network and router is used in a bigger network. So let's move on to the next difference. So here is the next difference, that is switch connects different nodes such as hubs and routers, etc. And here the router connects two or more networks, means switch does the work that connects two or more hubs and that forms a network, and that type of two network is connected by a router. So here comes another difference, that switch is used for small network and router is for bigger, as we discussed. So let's move on to the next difference. So here comes another difference, that switch is called intra-networking device or networking device because of its small area network. The organization can be called internetworking, or so that switch is also called intra-networking device. And their router comes in a bigger network, so it is called internetworking device. And switch is rarely means used in the bigger networks because it is not that much useful for the bigger networks, so that we use routers instead of switches. Let's move on to the next difference, and here comes our next difference, that is the OSI model. So I think many of you have heard about the OSI layers. So in that, if you have not heard about it, you can search it on Google. So I will not go that much deep, but you can check out this simple difference, that switch comes in the data link layer of OSI model and router comes in the network layer of OSI model. So it's quite simple that you can check out it on Google if you want to know more about OSI models. So let's move on to our next difference. Our next difference is that switch is contained of only one broadcast domain, that is within the network. You can only broadcast within the network, and if you are using a router, then you are able to broadcast within another networks too. So here all ports have their own broadcast domain. So if you are using a hub, a switch, so they will both have their own broadcast domain, and you will be able to broadcast to the entire network, also if it is not your own network. So let's move on to the next difference, and here is our next difference, that switches use the CAM table, which is also called, means the full form of the CAM is content accessible memory. So you have heard that switches may contain the communication using MAC addresses, so they have to store somewhere the MAC addresses for the easy use. So they use CAM table to store the MAC addresses of the different computers. And if we go for the router, it uses routing table for storing IP addresses. So there's a difference, that router uses IP addresses and the switch uses MAC addresses. So here we move on to our next difference, that is, so our next difference is any single switch can have 8, 16, 24 or 48 ports. Means this shows that how many devices you can connect through a switch. So there are many options available in switch, but in router there are only 3 options available, that 2, 4 and 8 ports. Because of their heavy purpose of use, the router consists of lesser ports than switch. So here comes the next difference, that is switches are faster than router as they are wired. So we can see that routers are a bit slower than switches, and you can get more faster speed in switch, that is 10 to 100 mbps or to 1 gbps. And in router you will not get that much high speed, but you can get sufficient speed if you have a small network. So in routers you get 10 mbps speed at wireless and 100 mbps speed wired. So here's a big difference between these two things. And there is another difference, that switches communicate on MAC addresses in the form of frame and router communicates on the IP addresses in the form of packets. So you can see here that switches communicate on MAC address, as the computers are contained of MAC addresses. So switches identify the computers on the basis of their MAC addresses, and on router it communicates to the other computers using IP addresses and also identifies them with their IP addresses and works in the form of packets. So here was a short difference between these two things, and I hope you have learned about what is the difference between switch and router. So I will be sure that you will not confused again the next time. And also, if you have liked the video, then please hit the subscribe button, and I will also come to share some new videos on networking, as I think that you all are not aware about the things you are using daily. You are using them at your home but still don't know what it actually works for. So I will come with the next video, and thanks for watching the video. I will see you soon in the next video.